Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson today said he believes that having a, quote, dialogue with China is the best way to cut our soaring record trade deficit with the communist country. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill, however, not entirely in agreement, pointing to the millions of jobs that have been exported to cheap overseas labor markets as proof that more drastic measures must be taken, and soon. Lisa Sylvester reports from Washington.
Good morning. The committee will come to order.
Senate Democrats took turns drilling Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson for failing to level the trade playing field with China.
All the jawboning and talking that you are doing with the Chinese is not going to affect one iota that steel worker in Bessemer, Alabama.
If the roof is leaking, we better fix it. I think the roof is leaking as far as the imbalance of trade.
For years, China has manipulated its currency to make its goods cheap and American products more expensive. The result, a U.S. $230 billion trade deficit with China. That's rippled across the U.S. economy. U.S. factories shut down as companies moved overseas.
Companies who have relocated to China, American companies who have moved to China, benefit from China's policies. And they have a lot of clout with this administration.
The Bush administration has been reluctant to issue ultimatums and instead has formed a strategic economic dialogue group of U.S. cabinet officials to engage the Chinese.
We're coordinating what we're doing economically, and we're speaking with one voice. And I think that gives us great leverage.
The new chair of the Senate Banking Committee says the American people want more than dialogue and chit-chat as they lose their jobs.
They are livid. Yep. They are livid, Mr. Secretary. And the Congress isn't going to wait necessarily for us to get some sort of vague definition of how this is kind of progressing when they watch 3 million manufacturing jobs leave this country.
Patience is running out. Senators Chuck Schumer and Lindsey Graham are leading the call to slap a tariff of 27.5% on all Chinese imports into the United States unless China corrects its currency imbalances. Congressional lawmakers say they are tired of hearing the same thing. One witness said it feels a lot like the movie Groundhog Day. China manipulates its currency. The U.S. government does nothing about it. Workers lose their jobs. That's been going on for years as the Treasury Department continues to talk with the Chinese. Lou?
In point of fact, it may be becoming clearer to all of us that it will be easier for Americans to influence the policy of the Chinese government than to influence the policy of this administration and this Congress. Lisa, thank you very much. Lisa Sylvester. Time now for our poll. The question tonight, let's follow up with the Treasury Secretary. Are you encouraged that Treasury Secretary Paulson is, quote, actively pressing the Chinese to introduce greater currency flexibility and undertake wider market reforms, end quote? Or do you believe the Treasury Secretary and the administration should be focusing on U.S. policies and strategies to alleviate our record trade deficit? Please cast your vote at LouDobbs.com. We'll have the results here later. Time now for some of your thoughts. Robin in California, we need fair trade, not free trade. This president hasn't done much of anything else right. Why should we trust him with fast-track authority in trade? Congress needs to take back its power, and the people need to ride herd on Congress. Monica in California, when are our elected officials going to start putting the good of our country before their political careers? What's it going to take for our representatives to wake up and save this wonderful country of ours? Jean in Georgia said, Lou, the damn war in Iraq is causing all the distraction and inability of our government to function rationally. The 111 amendments to the minimum wage bill is the perfect example of obstruction, just like the free trade bill. Send us your thoughts at LouDobbs.com. More of your thoughts upcoming here. And each of you whose email is read here receives a copy of my book, War on the Middle Class. Up next,